Hi guys, happy Monday. I'm very excited to do this video today. I had one of you lovely viewers, you asked me about how do you become a medical administrative assistant. I'm so proud that you are taking this career path. It is a rewarding career path. You get a really good feeling when you help a patient on the phone and when you help assist your provider with their clinic. So when you work as a medical administrative assistant, now it could be different positions at different hospitals, but you're kind of almost like a mini manager. So you're basically running that provider's clinic. You're making sure that they're getting records, you're making sure follow ups, responding to email correspondences, working on prior auth of medication refills. And it might sound complicated, but know this, every position is different. You might have different roles, different things that you're doing. Now, how do you become a medical administrative assistant? It's very simple. I'm going to tell you guys the good news is you don't need any type of specialized diploma. What I mean by that, you don't need any licensed diploma. Like, you know how RNs, they graduate, but then they also have to obtain a state license. You do not need that to become an admin. All you need to become a medical administrative assistant, Adam, is a high school diploma. Now, I'm going to give you a little thing. Now, you guys will say, but you said you didn't need any type of certification. You do not need certification, but it does help your job status if you went to a trade school. Now, I was in New England, and then I'll put so that way you guys could look. I don't know if you're in New England, you're watching this, but here are three top trade schools. If you live in Massachusetts, I would recommend for you to go to, and I will put them up here. Now, whatever state you're in, if you're in New York, California, Florida, Ohio, I don't know, just type in trade schools for your city or your state, right? Now, it also depends too on how far you're willing to drive to get this type of trade-in. Now, the reason why it helps um, with medical administrative assistant position jobs when you went to a trade school, because that trade school is going to give you an internship. Bingo, internship. This is where you will have an opportunity to build the skill sets that you need as a medical administrative assistant. And they're going to teach you how to communicate, verbally type, how to, obtain records, anything that you might need to do as a medical administrative assistant. The best thing is, it doesn't matter what department you work at. You know how medical terminology is a language that is used throughout the medical field. When you're a medical admin, the position is basically the same no matter what state, what state, what hospital you work for is pretty much the same thing. You're going to assist a physician, and that physician might need you just to call, just to book tests, just to follow up on insurance authorization. It really depends on what you're going to do with that department, but the job is pretty much the same no matter what state you are or what hospital you apply for. It's not going to change. What's going to change is job roles, right? So the reason why it's important to go to a trade school, even though it's not required, because that trade school is going to send you to an internship, right? And you could go there for a couple of weeks. And whoever's there, they're going to train you. Now, when I went to a trade school, it was back in 2008. I live in New England, so I went to Salter School. I hopefully they're still there. If they're not, I will let you guys know on the screen. I graduated back in 2008. At that time, I was working at Walmart as a full-time cashier, and I was going to school because there's nothing wrong with Walmart, but I wanted better health plan, and I wanted 401k. Even though as a cashier, I was getting the 401k, my health insurance wasn't really that great. I mean, I did get health care, but I had to work a certain amount of hours and like full time, even though I was a full time employee. My pay when I was working cashier back in 2008, I don't mind sharing with you guys. I didn't get paid no more than $9 an hour as a cashier. So, but 2008 at that time, it was good, right? I was able, and I was living at home with my mom. I wasn't married. I had no kid. So the only bills I had was basically my car insurance, which was like at that time $70. And I had my biggest bill at that time was my 2009 Toyota Corolla. Um, and I think my payment was like $250. So I had $250 plus $70, and I was getting paid every 2 weeks at Walmart. I think my check was no more than $700, if I'm correct. I don't know. I think if I got 700, I worked overtime and then I got some bonuses. But I don't think it was more than 700. But this was 2008. It was a long time ago. I don't really remember, but all I know is I got paid $9 an hour. That number stuck to my head. So then when I took the internship, it was not paid. Some internships are not going to pay you. Some of them will. I don't know if you get paid internship for medical administrative assistant. I'm not sure. But what happened was I was still in school. I needed a number of hours to graduate in order for them to give me that trade school diploma certificate. I think I had to be there for about four to 5 months because my school had ended in December, and I think I went from January, February, March, April. So I was there till April. For 4 months, I was going in, and it was non-paid because I was going to school. So I took a non-paid job for 4 months, but I was still working at Walmart. And it got kind of choppy because I had to be there at a certain hours at Walmart in order to get that full-time pay, and then I had to go to school. So my managers at that time at Walmart were very nice. They were very understanding. Were really proud that I was pursuing kind of a medical career. So they allowed me to work the weekends. And then whatever money I needed, I had my parents will help me out. At that time, he's my husband now. My boyfriend was also paying for my car payments because he also wanted me to finish school. So that's why it's important for you to have network of people, because anyone who becomes a doctor, a lawyer, a judge, they have some type of network that is supporting them. I had a network of my parents. I had my boyfriend at the time that was supporting me. So that way I was able to pursue this career that I have today. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Medical administrative assistant, you're not going to become rich off of it. And I'm not ashamed to tell you guys, you're not going to become rich. The only way you become like you have money in this job is if you work hard and you get promoted. You might maybe become an executive, you might one day will become a manager, but that's the reality. So at my state, the maximum hourly range for a medical administrative assistant, and I will put it here so you guys can see it, I'm not ashamed to say it, I think the max is 24 an hour. Okay, so 24 an hour. You time that. So some hospitals, now here's the thing, this is what the state wants you to make per hour. Now, now here's why you can't talk about your pay with your coworkers, because depending on the skill set your coworker have, they could be making $28, they could be making $30, they could be making $35, they could be making $20 or $19. A lot of hospitals will pay you based on the skill set that you have and the experiment and the skill set that you have. And then I can't, for some reason I'm having like a mind freeze here. They'll pay you your skill set and experiments that you have. That's what you're going to get paid on, right? So they look at that and that's what they pay you on. Now I have another video for you guys to show you guys how to look for hospital jobs within your state. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do this video where you guys could visually see me talking, and then we could search the internet together how to find jobs. So if you guys have a few questions for me, so if you want me to check a particular state that you're interested in, type in the message below or inbox me, and then I would do the video based on your questions. If you guys have some questions for me, definitely type them below and I'll answer them, because the other video is going to cover how to look for a medical administrative assistant position job and how to prepare yourself for the interview process and how to basically come to an agreement with what you're worth, right? So understand this. A lot of you who are watching this video, you're not going to have the skill set as a medical administrative assistant because you haven't worked. But I'll tell you what, you have transferable skills. Whether you're a mom at home, whether you work at McDonald's, or whether you're a bagger, or whether you work at a bakery, you have an important skill set. Does you know what that skill set is? Communication. Communication and verbally. Those two are key components to work as a medical administrative assistant. You have to be able to verbally communicate with your doctor, and then you have to use verbally communicate with your doctor, and then you have to basically type verbally and communicate with your doctor as well. And another thing too is you have to listen. Are you able to take directions correctly? Are you able to be very detailed in your notes and things like that? So that way when your doctor sees it, they're looking at it as someone who does not even has, if you don't have the skill set, but has never worked in that department, they could read your notes and understand what has been done or what you're asking them to do as a provider so they could treat their patient. I hope this answered your question. So do you need some type of specialized diploma to become medical service assistant? No, you do not. All you need is transferable skills. And it does help if you go to trade school. And that way you could get the skill set, because that trade school is going to send you to an internship, and the internship could be a clinic, a hospital. And I could do another follow-up video on how to prepare for your first internship as a medical administrative assistant. I could do that as well to show you guys how to prepare. I want, when they call you for that internship, you put your best foot forward, you do your job correctly, you ask questions, you help out, understand that and I'm now trying to figure out, I know I did not get paid for that medical administrative assistant position when I was working as an internship. But here's the best thing. When my internship was over, the manager at that office had, because that time I had the internship at neurology, and she had called me to come in the office, and she had offered me a position. Now, this is back in 2009. I worked there from 2009 to 2012. They started me with $13 an hour. That was a different time. And because they said this is the hourly rate they could start me with, because I did not have any type of skills or experience, but they said even though I worked in another department, they still had to teach me. I didn't have any skills coming in. They had to teach me the skills. But they said, there's always promotion. There's yearly promotions. There's raises. I could always go to a different department if I have good terms with them. So there were a lot of, uplifting and promises that wasn't really signed, but just promises that was there, right? So at that time, I took the job because I went from $9 an hour, and now I was getting paid almost $4 more, and they gave me 401k, they gave me paid vacation, and then I had benefits. I had really good health insurance. So now here's the thing. I didn't stay at that job too long, because at that time I ended up getting married in 2010, and I stayed there for a couple of years, but I was still working at Walmart on the weekends when I had the full-time job. And then at a point, I think it was maybe 2010, after I got married, after I've been working with them since 2008, I said to them I couldn't work there anymore because now I have taken on this job. And, working at Walmart, let me tell you, it was one of the best jobs I had, because working at Walmart taught me a lot of things. I know Walmart is completely different than what you guys are used to, but back then they actually had real people, humans that look like me, right? Actually would take your money and scan your items. I had good time. We had the little blue vest. I know they still wear the blue vest at Walmart, but we had a little blue vest and then the yellow smiley face, and then I had the little blue bag. It was one of the best couple of years I had in my life there, because at that time I wasn't married. I didn't have a lot of bills like I have today. I didn't have a child. I was free. The only bill I had was my car insurance. And then we had cell phones, but they weren't not like the way they are now. I didn't pay that much for my cell phone, but I didn't have that much bills. So at that time, that job for me, that was great. $9 an hour. I didn't really know any better, because other jobs I worked were less than $9. I used to get paid $7. It was even less than that for other jobs. I think I used to work at Sears, and they paid me $6 an hour. But that was back in 2004, 2005. That was years ago. So just to give you guys a little glimpse, do not be discouraged if you go to a trade school and you don't get paid for the internship. always have a backup plan where that's a part-time job. Now, I'm going to give you guys this before I close the video. Please be careful when you're looking for trade school. Now, back in 2008, we didn't really have a lot of like online education like they have now. There were some schools, but you really had to go in to school, like those trade schools. They had a lot of commercials for those trade schools. I know I don't really see too much of them now these days, but back then, if I could find a little clip, I will put it up here for you guys so you guys can see what I'm talking about. The trade schools to go to school, like when you're sitting down, they tell you to get up, do something with your life, those type of commercials. So, and those were all trade schools. You had to physically be in the classroom. But now, with there's a lot of schools that are virtually, but here's the thing, they're not accredited. And I'm going to show you guys when you're looking for your trade school in your home state, how to look for accredited schools. And I'm going to tell you what the difference is in the video. I'll put up here. What is the difference between accredited and uncredited? That way you guys know on the difference, because I would hate for you guys to watch this video, get inspired, go to a trade school that's not even accredited. And I think if it's not accredited, I don't think they provide you with an internship, and pay close to 20,000 or 30,000. That's the other thing too. My program at the time, it cost me only 10K. I have gotten that money back several times because I had at least maybe 5 or 6 jobs in this field. And it was paid through financial aid. So that's the other thing. Now I heard in my state in Massachusetts, I heard community colleges are free. So I don't know if that's legit. Please don't quote me on this. I was just going off what I heard on the news, but I will look into that for you guys, and I will try to put it here if I find the information. I'm going to have a lot of stuff on the screen for you guys. But you could go to a community college to get medical administrative assistant, but understand this. Community college is a 2-year plan, and it's going to cost you probably a lot of money. Maybe it's going to cost you up to 20K, or it could even be more because it's 2024. When I went to school 2028, the program was $10,000 and they wanted the money up front. They did have a payment plan, and my payment plan was to pay with financial aid. We paid 5K with the financial aid, and then I was to pay the rest of the money when school was done. Now, with me, financial aid had given me 15K. I don't mind saying it. And they paid the school 5K, and then the rest of the money was paid for the books. After I graduated, after I completed my internship, then they paid for the rest of the program, and I didn't owe them anything after that. Now, I went on after this field. I went on to become a graphic designer. I couldn't find a job. I took out a loan for that, and I regretted it. And then I went to school for a 2-year graphic designer. I took another loan that was covered, but half of it was still not covered. So that's a different story, because this story is all about how to become a medical administrative assistant. The only advice I'm going to give you guys is this: before you go to any type of schooling, do not get pressured to go to schooling at the time you're not ready. There's not a correct age for you to get a degree. You could be 80 years old and get a degree. You could be 60, 50. It doesn't matter. Do not fall into pressure of because other people are further along in their career and you're not there. Understand this. A job is what you make of it. You could be a janitor, and that could be the best job that you have because you treat that job with respect. You show up on time, you're willing to work, and you're always there to help and assist. This is no different, right? A medical administrative assistant job. It may not be the best job for some people. Some people look at us very low because it's basically a low entry position, right? But think of this job as a key. This job here could bring you to so many different levels that you don't even know. This job could bring out so many skill sets that you didn't even know you had in you. Never let anyone like talk for you or make assumptions for you or choose a job field for you. It doesn't matter what you do. If this is what makes you happy, then do it. Life is already short as it is. We can't live into other people's expectations of where we should be in our lives. We need to be happy with ourselves. If this is what you became in life, a medical administrative assistant, that is good. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you could do better or you could do higher or you could do more, then do it, guys. I just want you to make sure that when you do decide to go to a trade school, do it for the right reasons. Don't just do it because you think this is a quick 30 or 50, $40 dollars. Do it because you want to do it. Okay. Do it because this is what your con is. For me, I like people. I really do like talking to people. I like being around people. I like helping people because that's just my personality. Okay, that's just who I am. And then now I'm sitting here doing videos for you guys. So that is my little advice I have for you guys. If you have, like I said, if there's questions on what you want me to, what state you want me to search your schools, put them below. Or if you have questions on like how to look for pay raise, making sure you're getting paid the right amount when you get a job offer. You can put it below. And then I'm also going to show you guys how to search colleges or trade schools that are accredited and how to be aware of potential scams with schools that are online. I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, guys. Again, happy Monday.